Another season of interscholastic boys WPIAL soccer is upon us as we come at you tonight live from Pine-Richland Stadium in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania for the Section 1 WPIAL Class Quad A curtain raiser between the host Pine-Richland Rams and the visiting Tigers of North Allegheny. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm Matt Popchock. Glad you could be with us tonight, and proudly reporting once again for Pittsburgh Soccer Now, and we should have an interesting affair between these two North Hills-based sides, both coming in without a blemish on the record on the young season. North Allegheny, 2 wins in preseason play, as it were, over the weekend, playing in tournament action, and Pine-Richland traveling a similar road, picking up 1 win and 1 draw over the Labor Day weekend. So North Allegheny coming in with an overall mark of 2-0. Pine-Richland 1-0-1. Elsewhere in the section last night, it was Butler dominating North Hills, and Seneca Valley took on Shaler, and it was the Raiders victorious over the Titans in that one. So that's kind of where we stand right now, just kind of getting things going here in the fall 2021 campaign. And it'll be a big test for a young Pine-Richland side looking to grow as a team and as a program and improve the culture of winning here. And it'll be a big test for the visiting Tigers, for that matter. They're a very respected bunch coming off a very successful 2020 pandemic season. Quarterfinal appearance was their fate a year ago after finishing third to eventual WPIAL champion Seneca Valley, which won Class 4A Section 1. And this Tiger team coming back, though, with a lot of underclassmen, and head coach Bobby Vossmeyer, the Dutchman, the former Dutch international, in fact, hoping that some of those seniors who we're going to tell you about shortly can help lead those sophomores, juniors, and maybe the occasional freshman. You never know. North Allegheny bringing in a very voluminous varsity roster, and we'll give you their starting 11 in just a moment. Pine-Richland with a very voluminous roster as well. Head coach Jordan Wiggin in his third year. Wiggin, a North Hills alumnus, like myself, on a personal note. And very excited about the future of this program. He said he's going to be really looking to sharpen up the defense as section play gets going. And very excited about the way this group played over the weekend. Chemistry is a big positive, or was a big positive, in that aforementioned win and draw. And he said going into tonight's contest that really he feels like guys are on the same page, simply put. And, the ability to put all 11 guys on the same page is not one to be taken for granted. I don't care if you're good, bad, or in between. So team chemistry really improving, or so says Coach Wiggin in the early goings here in 2021. And let's take a look at that home starting lineup for Pine-Richland. We'll give you a little sneak preview as we are just a few minutes away from kickoff, and we will have a pregame ceremony, a brief moment of silence, we should point out, to honor Christian Cochran, the brother of a former Pine-Richland player who sadly passed away a year ago. Christian handled JV announcer duties here for the soccer team at Pine-Richland Stadium, and certainly sorely missed to this day. Starting for Jordan Wiggins' Pine-Richland Rams, who again come in with a 1-0-1 mark in goal. It'll be senior Evan Dougal. And the Rams coming out in a 5-3-2, apropos of what Coach Wiggin talked about, emphasizing defense and respecting the offensive talent in this section. And at center back from an injury-riddled season as a sophomore, is junior Ben Rischel, wearing number 4, and central defensive midfielder, number 6, Mason Wells, the senior. He gets a nod as well. At forward, number 9, Colin Zvanix, a junior. At central attacking midfield, number 10, Zach Palco, a senior. At right back, number 11, Thomas Cornelius, a senior. At center back, Tyler Fritz, a junior. At left back, number 17, Justin Bang, a senior. At central midfield, number 21, Cale Claff, a junior. At right back, number 22, Jacob Mendelovich, a junior. And rounding out the starting 11 for the Pine-Richland Rams, number 23, Ben McLean, a freshman forward, interestingly enough. So again, that's Dougal, Rischel, Wells, Zvanix, Palco, Cornelius, Fritz, Bang, Claff, Mendelovich, and McLean, the starting 11 for Pine-Richland. For the visiting North Allegheny Tigers, led by longtime head coach Bobby Vossmeyer, starting in goal will be the only rostered goaltender, at least on the official varsity sheet for that matter, Dante Accomando, the sophomore. And the Tigers coming out with a loaded midfield. It'll be a 3-5-2 formation to start the match tonight for Vossmeyer and North Allegheny. On defense, number 3, Tyler Vargo, a senior. On defense as well, a junior, number 5, Aiden Dyga. In the midfield, number 6, Kevin Luo, a junior. At forward, coming off a big weekend offensively, number 7, the senior, Evan Anderson. Also at forward, lining up there, Alok Shah, number 15, his fellow senior. On defense, Tor Skogsholm, a senior, number 16. In the midfield, number 17, Brandon Marzula, a senior. Also in the midfield, number 20, Matt Mim, a senior. In the midfield also, another big weapon to watch for the Tigers, number 41, Ben Christian, who's gotten his junior year off to a fine start. And rounding out the starting 11 for Vossmeyer's Tigers is number 26, who also will occasionally dress in number 46. In the midfield, Arnav Patel, a sophomore. And Vossmeyer wanted his team to be tested early on. A lot of sophomores and juniors on the varsity roster this year. Accomando, certainly one of those underclassmen of note, has spent some amateur soccer playing time with Beadling Soccer Club, and one of a number of players with club experience on both sides.
Between the North Allegheny Tigers and your own Pine-Richland Rams. The Tigers were coached by assistant coach Carlos Salgado, and head coach Bobby Vossmeyer. And here's tonight's lineup for the Tigers. Goaltender, number 0, Dante Accomando. 7, Evan Anderson. Number 15, Alat Shah. Number 16, Tor Skobum. Number 17, Brandon Marzella. Number 20, Matt Bim. Number 26, Arvind Patel. And number 41, Ben Christensen. Just Christian. And here's tonight's lineup for the Pine-Richland Rams. The Rams are coached by assistant coach Tim McCarthy, assistant coach Dan Allen, and head coach Jordan Wiggin. Starting tonight for the Rams, number 27, Ben McLean. Off to a good start. Number 12, junior Tyler Fritz. Number 22, junior Jacob Mendelovich. Number 9, junior Colin Phoenix. Number 21, junior Kale Clapp. Number 4, junior Ben Rischel. Number 10, senior Zach Palco. Number 11, senior Thomas Cornelius. Number 6, senior Mason Wells. Number 17, senior Justin Bang. And in goal, number 1, senior Evan Dugall. Would everyone please rise? Last week, the Pine-Richland soccer community lost one of our greatest supporters, Christian Cochran. Christian volunteered to help the soccer program last year and spent many nights in this booth announcing his brother's soccer games. The Cochran family has been a part of both the Pine-Richland boys and girls soccer families for many years. Tonight's game is dedicated in his honor. We will observe a moment of silence before the national anthem in memory of Christian. On behalf of the Cochran family, I would like to read a message. On behalf of the entire Cochran family, Chris, Danielle, Kate, and Nick, we want to express our full gratitude for the incredible support from the Pine-Richland soccer team, community, players, coaches, and parents. We are humbled and grateful for your dedicating this evening's game in the honor of our sweet son, Christian, and for all the generous and thoughtful donations to the Christian Cochran Legacy Foundation. Your donation to this fund will help do good things here in Pine-Richland and in the Pittsburgh area. Christian always wanted to do good things for others. It gave him much pride and joy to announce last year's games for the players and his brother. This field has always been special to him, for he marched in the Pine-Richland Marching Band for all 4 years of high school. He really got a kick out of announcing and watching his brother, Nick, along with all the other boys, watching them play soccer last fall. It lightened the load of his cancer diagnosis. With great appreciation and gratitude, the Cochran family. Now a moment of silence.
Thursday night football. We've got your Thursday night football right here. The sun is setting north of Pittsburgh, and we are ready to rock at just about 7:30 o'clock here at Pine-Richland Stadium. The visiting Tigers in their huddle pregame on the field, taking their positions. They will be decked out in their all-white uniforms with white tops, white pants, white socks, and black numerals, and a black NA badge, it appears, over their hearts. And they will be attacking from right to left on your computer or mobile device to begin tonight's match. Pine-Richland taking their positions now, and they will get the first touch as they come out in their all-black uniforms with dark tops, shorts, and socks in green numerals with white trim and that Pine-Richland crest over the heart. And Pine-Richland again moving from left to right on your computer screen or mobile device as we are underway here from Gibsonia. North Allegheny advancing the ball past midfield before Pine-Richland is able to take it back over. Sending it back toward the midfield stripe for Pine-Richland is Tyler Fritz. Ball out of bounds just shy of the Gridiron football 40-yard line. It'll be a throw-in near side for North Allegheny's Matt Mim. And Evan Anderson able to settle that down for NA before the Tigers reset the play back to Accomando. Accomando from above his 6-yard box, which just kind of flirts with the last bastions of green inside the football end zones here. It's a gorgeous facility here on the campus of Pine-Richland High School, and it always has been since it went up some time ago. This ball nodded out of there by Cale Claff, the central midfielder of Pine-Richland. North Allegheny right back on the ball trying to get something started, but can't work past the double team far side right in front of the Pine-Richland bench. Tigers in neutral territory on the Pine-Richland half of the pitch looking to reset here. One-on-one battle is eventually won by the Rams, and they work it to the far sideline where it's sent up ahead. And here come the Rams on the attack. Here's a nice little through ball down the left flank. That's going to go just out of reach of the intended recipient. From this distance, unable to identify the intended recipient. I apologize, but it will be a goal kick for the North Allegheny Tigers. 38-12 to go, scoreless first half on a clock counting down here from Pine-Richland Stadium. First half action between the Rams and the visiting North Allegheny Tigers. Again, this the Section 1 Class 4A lid lifter for both of these programs on the boys' side in WPIAL play. Ball taken over at midfield by North Allegheny's Daiga to Ben Christian. Christian centers it in the center circle for Marzullo. Marzullo, long pass down the right flank. Finds its target, but that target is well marked. However, he does find Christian right in the middle of the attacking third. Ball comes out to Anderson. Anderson is double teamed immediately. The Rams try to clear, and they are not quite able to just yet. Pass comes near side now for Daiga. Luo with it along the near side. It'll be out for a North Allegheny throw. Rams are really trying to dig in defensively in the early moments here as the ball was hurled in by the North Allegheny captain. And tonight that is Matt Mim wearing the loud neon red armband on his left arm. And Mim with a left-footed dribble centers it into the box, looking for a man far side. I believe that was Patel, but that pass a little too far, and it'll be out for a Pine-Richland throw deep in their own half. Rams very deliberate as they put the ball back in play. And it'll come to Cornelius. Up for Ben McLean. And now Cornelius double team near midfield, but he does earn a throw-in for Pine-Richland. And that'll be just inside the North Allegheny half. Fritz doing the honors for the home team. And he was looking for a man there who was fouled, it looks like, and that was Cornelius who drew the contact. And this is going to stay with Pine-Richland. In fact, this will be a free kick for the Rams from just inside the attacking third, near side. And they're going to let Claff take it. Claff for Cornelius. Cornelius has all kinds of room, but hold the phone here. Official hadn't blown his whistle yet. Now Claff will tee it up near side. Swinging ball into the box is punched out of there by Accomando. And it goes out for a corner kick, the first one for either team tonight. And it comes with 35-13 to go on a running first half clock, no score. Rams going short on the corner. It comes to the upper left corner of the 18-yard box before it is headed out of there by Matt Mim and eventually cleared by the Tigers' back line. Patel trying to help out his mates, and he does get it back toward midfield. Tigers looking to reset the play from their back line, and they approach midfield and are able to work it down the far sideline, and that's Anderson carrying the mail for North Allegheny. Now it'll come to Mim. Mim's centering pass. Christian had to go back for that one, but he does gather it in. Now a nice little through ball here for Daiga. It is cleared alertly by Dougal. That's a good heady play by the senior keeper there. Dougal, one of 3 keepers on the varsity roster for Jordan Wigan, getting the nod tonight. Robert Helmsen, another senior, is also on the roster as a netminder, as is sophomore Caden Bennett. And Dougal getting called into action early here in the 7th minute. Mim sets it up for Mamas Balambe, it looks like, for North Allegheny. No, correction, that's 17, not 11. Brandon Marzula, I beg your pardon. Ball ultimately out on the Tigers as they try to get something going deep, and it'll be a goal kick for Dougal. And the Pine-Richland senior sends it high and deep, well beyond midfield. It's corralled by the Tigers as the teams kind of play pitch and catch, as it were, in neutral territory. Finally settled down by Claff of the Rams. Claff finds an avenue at midfield, sets up Cornelius before it's intercepted by the Tigers. Ben Christian sending this ball long. And an attempted cross goes off a Pine-Richland foot. No, it's going to be out on the Tigers. A good marking there by the Rams deep in their own end. And this will be another goal kick for PR. Eight minutes in, still no score. Dougal tees it up. His right arm goes up, and here is that goal kick for Pine-Richland. Goes by just about everybody. Giving chase defensively for North Allegheny is Skolgum, and Skolgum has to reset to his own keeper, and just in the nick of time, Accomando rolls it to his left off his foot before it is finally cleared by Mim. Steal by Pine-Richland at midfield, and here comes Cale Claff. Claff down the left side. Couldn't connect on that pass, and the Tigers take over. Just shy of midfield is Christian for North Allegheny. Tigers trying to work it down the right wing. They can't. It'll be a throw-in for Pine-Richland just inside their own half. And now the Rams try to work out of getting bottled up there between the benches, and they do eventually, as it comes to Cornelius. Cornelius with a nice little pass near side. And the Rams might have something going here. Look out. But an entry pass is cleared alertly by Mim. And worked back beyond the defensive third by North Allegheny. Now dribbling down the near side is Luo. through ball goes off the back of Shaw and cleared by Pine-Richland near side before it's intercepted by Christian. Christian resetting for Marzullo. Marzullo with a long right-footed pass. It's knocked out of there by Justin Bang, the senior left back. It'll be a North Allegheny throw-in deep on the far side. Tigers looking to make something happen offensively 10 minutes into a scoreless first half. Turnaround try is denied and gathered by Dougal. That was a hard turnaround shot by Evan Anderson, who leads this North Allegheny side with 4 goals in 2 non-section matches. Anderson very well marked there, but put a lot of mustard on that ball, and Dougal had to get down and get in the right position to make a save, and he did. First save unofficially of the night for either keeper. As this ball is out in front of the North Allegheny bench, it'll be a throw-in for the visitors. And it comes to Patel before it's flicked back toward midfield. Pine-Richland is pressured defensively, and North Allegheny generates the turnover at the top of the attacking third. Mim is very well marked, and the Rams double team works. Here's Cornelius, and Cornelius is quickly dispossessed, though, by North Allegheny's Skolgum. Pine-Richland forces another turnover, this time North Allegheny giving the ball away before it's almost given right back to the Tigers. Finally, Cornelius is just going to whip it in the general direction of goal from about 40 yards out, and Accomando will gobble that up and toss it to his right. Long ball down the left flank now is too far for the intended target, Kevin Luo, and it's grabbed at the top of the box by Dougal, who made a nice save just a few moments ago from about 3 yards out on Evan Anderson. North Allegheny resets to their keeper, Accomando, who tries to clear, but he kind of muffed that one, and the Tigers' back line will be forced to drive the ball out of bounds. This will be a throw-in for Pine-Richland along the far touchline deep in North Allegheny territory. 12th minute, 0-0 between visiting North Allegheny and host Pine-Richland. Rams with a throw, far side. Into traffic it goes, and off the noggin of Aiden Dyga, who will shrug off his man, and the Tigers look like they'll be able to clear this ball, and they do, but not quite out. The Rams steal. And finally, this loose ball that ricochets off a couple of feet is scooped up by Accomando and tossed long to his left. Tigers work it back into the Pine-Richland half. Here's Shaw near side. Shaw looking for someone to pass to. That's Mim, who glances it over to Christian. Christian's shot off the left foot is wide of goal. Christian looking for some contact there and sympathy from the near official, but it doesn't look like he will get any. But what he will get is a corner kick. Officials say that last went off one of the Rams, and it's going to be Christian doing the honors in the far corner. Here in the 14th minute, scoreless first half. Christian winds and fires. Off ahead it goes. Still loose near side. Matt Mim of North Allegheny, the captain, picking up the bounding ball, swings it into the box, and it's scooped up. Shot just wide. And I think that might have been Shaw, who looked like he had a beat on that ball. It was a foot race between him and the keeper, Dougal, and Shaw got there first, but he just kind of chipped it wide. He tried to chip it around the Pine-Richland senior from our vantage point, it appears, and Pine-Richland catches a big break there as it goes out for a goal kick. And a long one it is. This 50-50 ball is going to be controlled eventually by the Rams, But that North Allegheny defense being very, very aggressive, and they quickly counterattack. This looks like Shaw. Shaw trying to cross. That pass is nipped in the bud by the Pine-Richland back line, which eventually forces a throw-in for the Rams. Brandon Geis, the left back, number 16, a senior, entering the game for Pine-Richland as the Rams try to mount an attack of their own here in the 15th minute. Ball out of play, and last touched by the Tigers, they say. Pine-Richland setting up for the throw-in. Far side from 20-ish yards out. It's hurled deep into the box and off one of the Tigers, I think. And yes, they're going to give this to Pine-Richland. It's going to be a corner kick for the Rams, far side. And I think it's going to be McLean that's going to take this one at the far flag. Let's see if the Rams go short with it like they did last time, and they do indeed. Pine-Richland unable to do the requisite nutmegging, however, and North Allegheny clears it back to its own bench. Officials say last touched by Pine-Richland. North Allegheny throws it back into play. And scooped up by the Tigers, Kevin Luo. It comes in on goal, and Dougal has to get back into goal. Look out. North Allegheny with a chance here deep in the corner, and this chip shot from Mim is grabbed out of midair by a jumping Evan Dougal. It was a ball into the box, and Dougal came all the way off his line to try and ferret out the potential scoring chance there for the Tigers, as they seem to smell the blood in the water offensively, and that almost turned into disaster for Pine-Richland, but Dougal doing well to thwart said disaster as the Rams work it back to midfield before North Allegheny goes the other way. And a hard foul there is going to be charged to Pine-Richland's big senior, the defensive midfielder Mason Wells. This will be a free kick to North Allegheny just inside Pine-Richland territory. And it appears Mim, the captain, will take it. And he leaves it short for Christian. Christian serves this ball into the box. And foul on North Allegheny as they were unable to beat traffic. Pine-Richland ball, and it'll be a goal kick, it looks like, for Dougal as he does a bit of an equipment adjustment here. Appears to be something wrong with one of his shin guards, the one on his right leg from our vantage point. And he'll slip the glove back on and get ready to put the ball back in play in just a second. 18 minutes in, 0-0 here from Pine-Richland Stadium. And Dougal drives it deep. North Allegheny backline moving as one to try and intercept that ball, and it does. Christian up ahead to Daiga. Daiga down the left wing. Near side for Shaw. Shaw centers it. Cut off neatly by Dougal. He's been reading the play really well so far, and he rolls it up ahead for a Pine-Richland challenge that goes awry. The ball is temporarily turned over to North Allegheny, and it didn't look like the Tigers were going to be able to sustain possession, but they do. Here's Mim for Shaw. Shaw very well marked, however, and he is grabbed. Officials say play on. It looked like McLean might have gotten a little bit of the jersey there, but nothing doing, they say. And Mim, after a little bit of tension there, will reset it and nearly give it away. Oh boy. It looked like Skogum was slow to retreat to accept that pass, and that almost turned into a one-on-none break for Pine-Richland. North Allegheny resetting the play from its defensive midfield. Christian with it. Mim lets this one go for Luo. Luo up ahead for Mim. Now Luo will put it off the other number 6, Mason Wells. And back to midfield, it deflects, where the Tigers will have to reset the play. And this is another dangerous-looking pass that is just chipped out of danger again. Virtually the same play to Tor Skolgum. Now Pine-Richland does force a turnover at midfield, but they were unable to connect to McLean up ahead of the play on the right side, and North Allegheny will try and settle things down here midway through a goalless first half. Down the left flank it comes from Mim, but Mim is just too well covered by Rischel, the Pine-Richland captain. Out of bounds it goes, just beyond the near touch line. This will be a throw-in for NA, and Mim puts it back into service at the top of the attacking third. Christian for Marzullo. Marzullo also wearing a captain's armband tonight for NA. Watches this ball push just wide of goal. A distant crack there is taken by Ben Christian, and Christian from distance very nearly tucked it inside the far post. Dougal leaping to his left to try and catch up to that ball, but it went wide of goal and thus became a moot point. Who was that who came in? Three for NA?
No.
Thank you. Meanwhile, here's Pine-Richland back the other way as Thomas Cornelius was well marked along the right wing. Tigers work it back into Pine-Richland territory where it's settled down by Anderson. Anderson also part of that aforementioned leadership group for Christian, looking for Shaw, cleared, now off Evan Anderson, look out, and it's grabbed, that ricocheting ball out of midair by a retreating Evan Dougal. Ethan Wygant, the sophomore central midfielder, going to see some action here for the Pine-Richland Rams. Meanwhile, Connor Kasmerick, number 10, and number 19, Andre Ennis, the senior, both midfielders, it appears, are going to be entering the game shortly for North Allegheny. Shaw is taken to the turf. Play on, they say. And Pine-Richland will try to do just that. The Rams with it. Down the far side. Central pass for Cornelius. Cornelius dribbles, fakes, and tries to shoot, but it's off the leg of a North Allegheny defender, and it deflects safely back to the Tiger midfield, which will work it past the center stripe and send a ball wide, intended for Anderson. Too far. It'll be a throw-in for the Rams. 23rd minute here from Pine-Richland Stadium, 0-0 between the Rams and North Allegheny Tigers as the Section 1 Class 4A season is officially underway as of tonight for both these sides. And near side it'll come to Luo. Luo up ahead for Anderson. Anderson is well marked by a pair of Pine-Richland defenders. Rams really trying to be aggressive in their midfield, push North Allegheny back, and they do, as Daigo will have to reset the play for North Allegheny, and coming out of his goal is Dougal. He collides with one of his own teammates, that's Justin Bang, and North Allegheny is somehow able to get a throw-in out of all that. Dougal playing very aggressively in this first half, and at times he's paid a physical price for it, but no worse for the wear as of yet. Mim with it, deep in the left wing. And this pass again was intended for Mim off the foot of Christian, but it'll go out for a North Allegheny throw.
Coming in for the Tigers, number 10, Connor is there. And number 19, Andre Ennis.
Kesmerick and Ennis officially entering now for the visitors as Mim inbounds the ball. Centering feed, all alone are the Tigers, and they put it wide. Oh, my goodness. A very, very well-executed passing play off the throw-in by the Tigers, and everything about it was perfect except that last touch from Evan Anderson, who looked like he was going to be able to push it past Dougal, who again came off his line to try and cut the ball off. And again, the Tigers, with a point-blank opportunity, or so it appears, push it wide of goal. Pine-Richland starting to live a bit dangerously here in this scoreless first half. Rams operating just inside North Allegheny territory, trying to get a build-up going along the far sideline, but this ball was taken over eventually by Anderson and worked toward the middle of the field. And there's a nice through ball to Anderson, and he seems to be onside and rifles it into the back of goal. Evan Anderson pulls a Lloyd Christmas and totally redeems himself for that missed opportunity just moments ago. And it is 1-0 to North Allegheny in the 26th minute. Evan Anderson, the senior forward, with his team leading 5th of the young season. And North Allegheny, the Tigers, have drawn first blood. And back to action here at Pine-Richland Stadium. Marzullo works it up ahead for Ennis. Tigers really trying to stretch the Pine-Richland half of the field now, spreading that ball around and testing the legs of the Pine-Richland back line for that matter. They've done an awful lot of chasing as of late, and moments ago it finally caught up to them as, again, it was Evan Anderson, the senior, netting the first goal of the game on a hard strike from deep on the right wing. And this will be, in the meantime, a free kick for Pine-Richland just in front of its own bench, and it's a long one. That's off a couple of heads, including that of Pine-Richland's number 3, Ethan Wigand, it appears, and ball out of bounds, last touched by the Rams deep in North Allegheny territory. It'll be hurled back in by the Tigers, but the Rams are right on the ball again before losing it out of bounds is Zvenix. Ennis resetting for North Allegheny for Christian in the middle of the field, just shy of the center circle. Pine-Richland inside its own defensive third, tries to clear the ball, and we get a whistle here. And let's see what the call is. It's going to be a foul on Pine-Richland just at the top of the attacking third, a free kick to North Allegheny. And taking it far side, it looks like is going to be Vargo, and he lets it rip. Loose ball in the box. Dougal running to his left to scoop it up before Shaw can get there. And now Dougal punts it from the top of the 18 long and high. He's got some power behind that foot of his, make no bones about that. Rams trying to get something going here, down a goal in the 29th minute. 1-0 to North Allegheny is your first half score here in Gibsonia, with Evan Anderson scoring his 5th of the season on 26 minutes. Wigand, far side. Rams able to center this ball now at the top of the attacking third. McLean turning around for Wigand. Wigand, well marked, nutmegs the defender and puts it on goal. It's loose, rebound blocked, and off the crossbar it goes. Which one of the Rams put that ball off the woodwork? Pine-Richland had 2 or 3 cracks at that, and I think it was McLean that just tried to smash the rebound into the yawning goal with Accomando out of position, and that's kind of the way the first half has gone for Pine-Richland. He puts it right off the woodwork. So the Tigers, dare we say, catch their first big break of the match, as we have one of the Rams being fouled here in his own defensive end, and that was Wigand who was the aggrieved party, and it was Wigand who made that whole sequence happen moments ago. That was a great build-up by the Rams, and they're going to try and find an answer here now as McLean centers it. And here's a shot that in American football would be 3 points, but for our purposes it will be a goal kick to North Allegheny. Coach Wigan making another substitution, in the meantime, as central midfielder Nathan Bang, the sophomore, sees his first minutes of the night for PR. And with under 10 minutes to go in the first half, and North Allegheny leading 1-0, it is the Tigers trying to slowly move this ball out of their own end, and a good challenge there by Pine-Richland forces North Allegheny to throw it back in. Rams swarm to the ball, trying to generate a giveaway, but they cannot, and now they will try and get their transition attack going before this well-struck ball was intercepted by Skolgum. Tigers work it down the right side. And up ahead it comes to Shaw. Shaw's cross almost found the feet of Andre Ennis, and Ennis would have been wide open had that pass been successful. Now this sort of half-power shot, a knuckler on goal, is going to be taken by one of the Tigers and easily grabbed by Dougal. And it looked like that might have been Skolgum trying to put that on frame as the Tigers retreat defensively. Vargo from the right back spot knocks it out of bounds near midfield. Throw in for Pine-Richland. And the Rams try to keep the play moving quickly. They can't before officials intercede. And now here comes that Pine-Richland throw-in. Rams working their way out of a bit of a traffic jam there along the far touchline, and this ball is out again from about 20 yards out or so, and this is last touched by another Tiger, and again Pine-Richland will get a throw-in on the offensive half of the field. Rams surveying the play as the whistle blows, and it'll be hurled right into the box and punched out of there by the keeper, and it's still loose. Rams fighting for this loose ball before it's finally cleared by the Tigers. Accomando, I'm not sure if he was trying to punch at that or just grab it outright, but he gave up kind of a juicy rebound there, and the Rams were looking for it. But he was well supported, was the sophomore keeper, by his North Allegheny mates. And now the Tigers with a steal deep in Pine-Richland territory, looking to add to their 1-0 advantage late in this first half. Under 7 minutes to play. Rams steal, at the top of the defensive third before they turn it back over again. And now Pine-Richland able to settle this ball down and put it off the foot of Mim, and it takes a friendly Pine-Richland deflection up toward the center circle before North Allegheny flags it down. And some fancy footwork there by Ennis. The substitute is for naught, but the senior will get a throw-in. And it looks like Ennis is actually going to yield to Mim for this one, as the Tigers make another substitution. Bobby Vossmeyer putting in Gregory Koseth, the junior midfielder, number 14. And Thomas Cornelius, the right back, re-entering the match for Pine-Richland. This throw-in goes by everybody. Wigant trying to shield his man. That's Anderson, the lone goal-getter. And he does so successfully, earning a goal kick for Pine-Richland. 1-0 to the Tigers here on 35 minutes as the first half winds down on a really nice night here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Again, the lone goal scorer thus far is Evan Anderson, his team-leading 5th of the season for North Allegheny, and it came at the 26-minute mark. Tigers push it toward the Pine-Richland bench, and the Rams will have the opportunity to throw it back in front of their own sideline. North Allegheny working the ball near midfield, and coming up with it for the Tigers is Marzullo. Marzullo resetting to Dyga. Now for Koseth, who's just entered the match for NA. Koseth for Marzullo. Marzullo forces a turnover. Pine-Richland with a bit of a callous pass there in front of the North Allegheny bench, as the Tigers are taking their time here, just kind of trying to stretch Pine-Richland out of its shape here in their own half. And it'll come near side now to Ennis. Ennis past midfield. Up ahead finds Shaw. Shaw for Marzullo. Marzullo up ahead for Anderson, who could not flick it off his right foot past Dougal, who again played the role of aggressor, and this time it worked as the Pine-Richland senior hangs on for the save. And he punts this ball all the way to the R in the giant Pine-Richland logo in the middle of this football field at Pine-Richland Stadium. North Allegheny on the ball now, near side, past the midfield stripe. Dribbling near side is Ennis. Ennis was too well marked, however, to get much of anything going there. And good work there defensively by Nathan Bang to force a throw-in for Pine-Richland. And now the Rams will get another one as Mendelovich will put this ball in play. That's not Mendelovich, that's the center back, Tyler Fritsch, 12, not 22. I stand corrected. In any event, the throw-in is unproductive, but we do get a foul here at the top of the defensive third, and it's going to go against Pine-Richland. Free kick to North Allegheny from the 30-yard football marker on the gridiron here in Gibsonia. And we pause temporarily with just under 3 minutes to play in the first half. 1-0 to North Allegheny still. Marzullo goes backward, and now the Tigers will try and build the ball forward here as Koseth works it past midfield before he loses it out of bounds. Throw in for Pine-Richland, and Pine-Richland quickly trying to restart the play, and they will here with another throw-in just beyond midfield on the offensive half. And North Allegheny tracks that one down as well. They work it back to goal. Accomando taking a few steps backward and booting this ball to his left. Rams calling for a handball and might have had a case there, but no matter. We play on until the ball rolls out of bounds just a couple seconds later. Last touched by the Rams. Throw in to the Tigers. Matt Mim near side. for Ennis. Ennis couldn't handle it, and now this will be a throw-in for Pine-Richland. Cornelius shrugs off his man. Cornelius with good hustle there, but couldn't quite catch up to that ball as he was trying to tee it up beyond the top of the box. Now this through ball for Cornelius is centered, and it comes right to one of the Rams, who shoots and scores! The Rams are level as Collins Velnix has his first of the campaign on a beautiful cross from Cornelius with just 1:25 left in the first half. Collins Velnix, the junior forward, on 39 minutes, has made it a 1-1 match. And late goals in any context have a way of being momentum changers. So let's see what Pine-Richland can do after pulling even here late against the mighty Tigers. And we get a whistle in the offensive half against North Allegheny from about 20 yards out. It'll be a free kick that'll be taken by the keeper, Evan Dougal. And eventually this ball will just kind of die on the track near side. Throw in for North Allegheny. Final 25 seconds of play before halftime here in Gibsonia. Long drive from Kossoff. Tigers looking for a late strike of their own. With it is Anderson. Anderson turnaround pass intended for Shaw. And that's going to be just about all she wrote for the first 40 here at Pine-Richland Stadium. More fireworks from North Allegheny's Evan Anderson, but some hope late for Pine-Richland on a beautiful passing play set up by Thomas Cornelius to Collins Velnix, the junior forward. And we are level here at Pine-Richland Stadium. At halftime, your score: North Allegheny Tigers 1, Pine-Richland Rams 1. We're going to step aside, catch our breath, and maybe catch a little beverage as well. And we'll have some halftime thoughts and second half action for you shortly here on Pittsburgh Soccer Now.
Find the perfect song for your
And moments from the start of second half kickoff here at Pine-Richland Stadium in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, with the Pine-Richland Rams and North Allegheny Tigers even at 1 goal apiece. Once again, it was Evan Anderson for the visitors in the 26th minute, and Collins Vanix on a nifty passing play set up by Thomas Cornelius, evening for Pine-Richland in the 39th, and North Allegheny will move with the ball left to right on your computer screen or mobile device as second half play begins. Bobby Vossmeyer's side having its hands full a bit here as Jordan Wiggins' team has showed some of that defensive poise and stick-to-itiveness that he had hoped his team would have as the season went on here. NA winning its tournament games by an aggregate 22-0, but Pine-Richland, as I said, getting the Tigers to concede for the first time in 2021 right before halftime and taking a little bit of momentum into the locker room as North Allegheny comes back in earnest, here in the early stages of the second half, earning a throw-in in the Pine-Richland half. Marzullo with it for Christian. Christian's through ball intended for Patel. Patel wearing number 46 in white this evening for the Tigers. He is also listed as wearing number 26 on occasion for NA. Marzullo in the defensive midfield now will set it up left side for a North Allegheny teammate, and that looks to be Yusuf Bajwa, the senior defender, if my eyes do not deceive me, relinquishing a defensive throw-in to the Pine-Richland Rams. Pine-Richland working very, very quickly off those stoppages, trying to take any advantage they can get here against this very well-peopled and well-schooled NA side. Vossmeyer, I mentioned him a moment ago, coached North Allegheny in 2016 to its first championship since 1999 in WPIAL play, and had to follow another local legend, Byron Schwartz, the winningest soccer coach in PIAA history. No pressure or anything. But Vossmeyer, for that program, has done a heck of a job, and he's a very busy man away from the North Allegheny program for that matter. Jordan Wiggin, as we said earlier, got his high school playing experience locally here at Greater Pittsburgh at North Hills High School, a member of that program's class of 06. And now an elbow to the back will be whistled against Cornelius, who has 3 assists now on the season, including one on the game-tying goal by Colin Zvanix. Christian with it, beyond the circle. He'll play pitch and catch with Marzullo. And on the left, it'll come to North Allegheny before that last touch a little too aggressive by the Tigers, giving the ball up to Pine-Richland, but the Rams unable to get any kind of a counterattack going, and a hard foul now is going to be whistled against Matt Mim. And Mim not happy about the call, but the Pine-Richland Partisans here, the student section, quite fired up as the Rams get a free kick from just shy of midfield. And gathering it in is Cale Claff. Claff immediately defended very earnestly by Patel. Pine-Richland hemmed in on the near side. North Allegheny trying to force it OB. They can't. With it is Justin Bang, the left back, trying to pinch to keep this offensive sequence alive for Pine-Richland. But eventually the ball was given away to Patel, who sends it long up ahead for Anderson, the lone goal scorer for North Allegheny. But too far for Anderson, and it'll be gathered in by Dougal, who goes to his left and grabs that ball at the corner of the box, and now he will drop kick it high back to midfield. About a 45-yard punt in gridiron football vernacular is eventually grabbed by the visitors. Marzullo with it. Nice little pass to his left, and here's North Allegheny with something going down the left side. Turnaround shot off a body and just wide. That took a friendly Pine-Richland deflection. Just wide of goal, and it'll be a corner kick to the Tigers. Looks like Marzullo's going to take it. Evan Anderson settled that ball down, turn around, turned around, and just kind of cocked and fired, but could not find the target. And on the 46th minute, this corner kick will go by everybody and out of bounds on the Rams. It'll be a deep throw in for North Allegheny, and it comes to a wide open Ben Christian, who sets it to the top of the box for Marzola. Marzola, retreating a couple steps, now tries to whip it around into traffic, but the Rams have that well covered. North Allegheny really pressuring the right side of that Pine-Richland defense here early in the second half. And ultimately, the Rams are able to earn a throw-in deep in their own defensive half. From the far side of the turf, it's tossed back in. Intercepted, though, by Marzola. North Allegheny unable to do anything really with this ball, though. But taking charge for a moment was Tyler Vargo. Tigers with it at the edge of the midfield circle. That's Shaw working it to his left. And it's centered now for Anderson. Anderson couldn't control it on that last touch, however. And it comes to Dougal, who will gather it in and settle the play down. 7 minutes into the second half, 1-1 the score between North Allegheny and Pine-Richland. Here's a long through ball intended for Anderson, but good job of beating him to the punch by the captain, Ben Rischel. And it looked like Anderson might have cramped up a little bit at the end of that play as he drops to his twos and kind of stretches out that leg along the back line. Corner kick to North Allegheny at the near flag. It'll be Christian setting it up. Low line drive is headed out of there easily by the Rams, but it'll be another corner for the Tigers. And Christian will take it over again from the same spot. Christian punting it right into the breadbasket of Dougal, who jumps up to meet that ball right in front of goal. And both teams retreating now as Dougal will drive it back toward midfield. And on a bounce, trying to gather this ball in for Pine-Richland is Jacob Mendelovich. Up ahead it comes now to Justin Bang. Bang is double-teamed on the left flank and draws a foul against the Tigers. It'll be an indirect free kick for Pine-Richland here in the 49th minute of a 1-1 match. And taking the indirect free kick from about 25 yards out is Claff. Claff into the box. It's loose. Who has it? The Rams do! But they are offside. Wait a minute, are they going to count this one? They are. It is a goal. And it looked like Bang might have gotten the last foot on that one. There was just a sea of bodies right in front of goal. Accomando couldn't find the ball. And that was actually not Bang. That was the central defensive midfielder, Mason Wells, I think, the senior. The blonde bombshell dropping a big one on the Tigers here early in the second half, and it is 2-1 to the Rams. Public address giving it to Zvenix in the interim, but we're going to go with Wells for now. I think ultimately that might be his goal. It was very, very difficult to tell. Again, a sea of bodies from both teams surrounding that indirect free kick as it bounded off the hands of the keeper, Accomando. And Pine-Richland somehow not only was the last team to touch it, but stayed on side after some confusion there. And the goal stands, and Pine-Richland is in the catbird seat right now. On 50 minutes, it is 2-1 to the Rams as North Allegheny is setting up for a corner kick on the far side, looking for a quick answer. And we're going to call it a 49th minute goal to the Rams as the corner kick went by everybody except for the Pine-Richland left back, Justin Bang. And Pine-Richland eventually turns this ball over to North Allegheny beyond its own defensive third. And the Tigers will penetrate one more time. Through ball intended for Patel. Patel trying to maneuver around the defender and get to that ball before Dougal did, but Dougal drives it out of there. Matt Mim far side for Ben Christian. Again, Zvelnix is initially credited with the brace for Pine-Richland. Mason Wells appeared to be the first to put his hands up and lead the charge out of the celebration melee or huddle, if you will. So the bottom line, it's 2-1 to the Rams with under half an hour to go. Pine-Richland looking for an eyebrow raiser of some sort here at home in the Section 1 4A opener for both these North Hills-based teams. Turnaround chip looking for Patel was one of the North Allegheny Tigers, and finally it's worked out of there defensively. That was Christian trying to make that pass, and Christian receives the throw-in near side from Evan Anderson, who has the lone goal for North Allegheny. It's loose now to one of the Tigers and cleared out of there just in the nick of time, and I believe that was Bang that got it out of there at the last resort, Justin Bang. Rams drive it beyond the center circle where it's flagged down by the Tiger midfield. Christian got a touch on that, but unable to settle the ball down. Pine-Richland drives it back into the NA half of the pitch. Cornelius, who has a helper in the first half, sends it right side for one of the Rams. Pine-Richland now settling the play down before this ball is stolen. That back pass taken away by Ben Christian. Long ball by the Tigers out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in, I believe, to Pine-Richland. And it'll be Wells off the throw-in in front of the Pine-Richland bench, putting it off a Pine-Richland body, and it comes into the North Allegheny bench where the Tigers put it back into play. And the Tigers work through midfield now into the Pine-Richland half. This ball centered for Marzullo. Marzullo pulls back and creates some space. Now this cross intended for Christian is broken up by the Rams, and the Rams try to build some steam going back the other way. Here's Mendelovich down the near side. Drops it back for Klaff, who is immediately well marked by Marzullo. Now Christian taking over inside the midfield circle. Sends it to the left side for North Allegheny. The Tigers back on the prowl here, down 2-1 to the Pine-Richland Rams in the 54th minute. And a foul whistled on North Allegheny as the Rams will get another free kick, this time just shy of the attacking third. And it'll be Thomas Cornelius looking to help his team add to the lead that Mason Wells, unofficially, we should say, gave the hosts. And Cornelius is actually going to defer to Cale Klaff on the indirect free kick. He puts it in the box. It goes off a North Allegheny head, and it's cleared by Patel to Christian. Christian turning around and whipping this ball back toward midfield The North Allegheny defense not at all standing on ceremony after falling behind here in the second half, as this ball goes out in front of the Pine-Richland bench. North Allegheny intercepts the long outlet pass at midfield, and it's Anderson up ahead, and Anderson and the intended target, Vargo, were not on the same page there, it appeared. But it doesn't matter because Justin Bang, that is, loses this ball out of bounds, and it'll be a North Allegheny throw-in on the near side. Geis re-entering at left back for Pine-Richland. Kazmarek re-entering for the Tigers. Ditto Ennis. And Brendan Angermeyer, the junior forward, who has 3 goals through 2 matches thus far, comes off the bench for Bobby Vossmeyer as well. Tigers trying to empty the tank a little bit here and find at least one more goal, and from their point of view, hopefully more. Tigers struck first on 26 minutes. Pine-Richland tied it with just over a minute to play before halftime, then took the lead about 10 minutes into the second half on a mad scramble for an indirect free kick that was loose in front of North Allegheny sophomore keeper Dante Accomando. And ultimately we hope to resolve the disagreement as to whether or not it was Collins Vanix who got his second of the night, or in fact the defensive midfielder Mason Wells who got the last toe on that lucky ball for the Rams. And in the meantime, it'll be North Allegheny setting up for a free kick from just beyond the attacking third, from the near hash mark. Looking at the football markings on the field here at Pine-Richland Stadium, it's Marzullo driving it toward goal, and oh boy, Dougal just got some fingertips on that ball. And Dougal fielding his position very well, not necessarily the tallest of young men, however, and North Allegheny trying to exploit that on the long indirect free kick, electing to go directly for goal, I should say, and Marzullo with that long drive nearly got it past the Pine-Richland keeper. Tigers back on the attack again on 58 minutes and counting. And it comes now to Christian, who sends it in the corner, intended for Kazmarek. And it's out on Kazmarek over the back line. It'll be a goal kick to Pine-Richland. And with it, off the boot from the Pine-Richland goal line is North Allegheny's Evan Anderson. Anderson trying to do it all by himself, and eventually this ball is going to come to Anderson's teammate, Kazmarek, on the right side, who delivers back to Anderson. And we get a foul here offensively on the Tigers. Pine-Richland taking over again as Justin Bang just continues to do yeoman's work from that left back position. And he paid a price to draw the foul there. Alok Shaw, one of the starting 11 for Bobby Vossmeyer, re-entering for North Allegheny. Shaw, like Angermeyer, also has 3 goals on the young campaign. And Claff of Pine-Richland drives this ball a rug burner along the turf back toward midfield before the Tigers build up their attack one more time. Last touched out of bounds by Palco, the central midfielder. Throw in for North Allegheny deep in the Pine-Richland attacking third. Near side it comes, and it's driven right off the back of Claff by Kazmarek for another North Allegheny throw. Kazmarek looking to play over and inbounds it to Shaw. Shaw's cross goes awry of its intended target. I think that might have been Skolgum, excuse me. Evan Dougal, however, got to it before everybody else did, and he'll hang on and wait for both teams to retreat before driving this ball past midfield. And it's won by the Tigers, who reset the play. And they do so to their own keeper, Dante Accomando. Pine-Richland applying immediate pressure. North Allegheny able to methodically work it back toward the center stripe, however, and a nice run there from his own zone by Kazmarek to get it up ahead to Shaw. For Christian now in the middle of the field. Going long now for Angermeyer, if my eyes do not deceive me. Out off one of the Tigers, it'll be a Pine-Richland throw-in to the left of the Rams bench, far side of the field. Under 20 minutes to go in the second half, and it is 2-1 to the Rams. Go-ahead goal coming in the 49th minute from either Colin Zvanix or Mason Wells, which the latter was our gut instinct. But soccer gods willing, if the Rams are victorious, we'll try and catch up with Jordan Wigan afterward for more coverage on Pittsburgh Soccer Now, and certainly he, of all, could put that mystery to rest. Throw in near side for North Allegheny. Over to Marzullo. Marzullo brings the play backward to Mim. Mim from the defensive midfield up ahead on the left side. And the Tigers just kind of out of sync there along the far touchline. It'll be Pine-Richland ball. And this is actually going to be a goal kick for the Rams on 62 minutes here in Gibsonia. And flagging that ball down for North Allegheny is Marzullo, but Pine-Richland takes it over. And they force the Tigers back to their own defensive third before Kazmarek turns around and whips this ball back in the general direction of midfield. It doesn't make it anywhere near midfield, however, thanks to Claff. Claff bumping Kazmarek with a hard soccer equivalent of a hockey hip check there, and he's going to be called for the foul as North Allegheny gets a free kick from its own half. Marzullo is able to get this one beyond Cornelius, who is applying pressure in the central midfield for Pine-Richland. And from the far side, North Allegheny drives the ball beyond the center stripe. Marzullo again with it to Christian down the left flank. Through ball is cleared out of there by Dougal, who is playing without fear tonight for the home side. Dougal in haste coming all the way out off his line, a good 18, 19 yards or so to get to that ball before the Tigers could. North Allegheny throws it back in, and they've tried to build up another opportunity here on the left side. And they'll earn another throw-in as it comes to Marzullo this time. Marzullo from outside the left hash marks sends it down low. And a deep cross here is going to be settled down by North Allegheny, but the turnaround shot is blocked. It's taken now by Vargo, whose attempt was partially deflected well beyond the box. North Allegheny still applying offensive pressure, though, trailing by a goal with 16.5 to play. As both teams, it appear, as we get a whistle, are getting ready to make some changes. Evan Anderson re-entering for North Allegheny. He of the lone North Allegheny goal in the 26th minute. Rams countering with Wygant. The sophomore midfielder is back in for Jordan Wiggins' side. And Fritz, the center back, will re-enter as well for Pine-Richland, which is trying to nurse a 2-1 advantage on 65 minutes. And Pine-Richland doing exactly what Wigan has wanted them to do since the season started, playing bend but don't break defense, trying to protect that lead, and maybe get another here to secure what some might consider a mild upset before time is out here at Pine-Richland Stadium. With it for North Allegheny, which has other ideas, is Alok Shaw. Shaw goes left side before this pass goes a little bit too far for Anderson. Rams drive it out defensively. It'll be a North Allegheny throw-in in front of the visitors' bench. Marzullo, the eager senior midfielder, with it, but can't hang on to it. Pine-Richland clears to midfield before the Tigers take it over. And they'll play it back to their keeper, Accomando, now. Accomando, a veteran of the Riverhounds Development Academy, like so many other great players in southwestern Pennsylvania. A lot of RDA representatives you're going to be seeing and hearing on Pittsburgh Soccer Now's live coverage this year. And the Tigers will work it into the Pine-Richland half once again. North Allegheny applying all kinds of pressure, but nothing to show for it yet in the second half, as Shaw flags down the through ball, which is still loose and finally drilled out of there by Wells, who unofficially has the go-ahead goal for the Rams. Off the throw-in, Marzullo sending it deep into the far corner, past everybody. Goal kick to Pine-Richland. And in the 67th minute, Colin Svenix, the junior who's gotten on the score sheet tonight at least once, possibly twice, will re-enter for Pine-Richland. Vargo and Geis getting tied up at midfield, and officials are going to give this throw into North Allegheny. Here's Marzullo, the co-captain, dropping it back, and playing it on his left is Luo. Rams able to dispossess the Tigers inside the attacking third, far side, and drive the ball back toward midfield. Svenix settles it down far side, and eventually the ball finds its way to the top of the 18-yard box in North Allegheny territory. Accomando drives it toward midfield, and it's headed back into NA territory quickly by Justin Bang. The Rams on the ball now. Cornelius with a nice little one-touch pass to his left, a cheeky move there, and eventually it's going to come now to Geis. Geis with space. Crosses intended, it looked like, for Wigant, but that went just beyond the noggin of the Pine-Richland sophomore. Defensive throw-in for North Allegheny with 12 minutes to play on a running second half clock. Pine-Richland 2, North Allegheny 1. Go-ahead goal in the 49th minute, unofficially scored off an indirect free kick by central defensive midfielder, Mason Wells, the senior. And a foul defensively for the Rams here is, let's see which one of the Tigers was aggrieved, if we possibly can. It looked like that might have been Marzullo at the upper left corner of the box. and he earns an indirect free kick for North Allegheny from about 25 yards out. He drives it into the box and right into the stomach of Dougal, who comes up to grab it. Tigers trying to redirect that off ahead and in behind the Pine-Richland senior, but Dougal was hip to that scene. And now a whistle after some hard contact here is going to go against the Rams at the top of the attacking third. North Allegheny gets a free kick. And restarting the play for the Tigers is Skolgum. Down the far touchline it goes, and eventually it's just going to roll out of bounds, throw into Pine-Richland in its own half. Ryan Cook, the junior defender, coming in for North Allegheny. And Jacob Mendelovich, the junior right back, coming in for Pine-Richland on 70 minutes here at Pine-Richland Stadium. Rams 2, North Allegheny Tigers 1. The Tigers have conceded twice and looking to avoid tasting defeat for the first time on this young 2021 season after posting back-to-back clean sheets to begin the fall campaign. Christian with it for North Allegheny. To the left wing it goes. And here's a shot from semi-distance blocked by the Rams' back line. North Allegheny back on this ball one more time. Rams retreating a bit. And here's a ball struck into the box. Turnaround try by Shaw is not to be, as one of the Rams went down trying to block that one and drew a foul in the process. And that foul is going to turn into a goal kick for Pine-Richland with under 9 minutes to play in regulation. Kazmarek for North Allegheny tries to center it for Christian, intercepted by the Rams. And the Rams are trying to set up Geis near side, but unable to do so. Good marking there by North Allegheny in the midfield. As this ball goes out of bounds along the near touch line, it'll be a throw-in for Pine-Richland. Justin Bang inbounds it, but it's stolen by Anderson. Anderson up ahead looking for Shaw. Shaw takes down one of the Rams inadvertently before the ball is scooped up by Dougal. The Rams back line really, as a group, standing its ground here, trying to protect this one-goal edge in the second half. And they have been put to the test, North Allegheny, with the bulk of possession here in the second half. But so far, the only touch that counts came in the 49th minute off an indirect free kick to the Rams. And there's a hard push to the back of Zvenix, that will result in a free kick in the offensive half for Pine-Richland. On 73 minutes, teeing it up is Claff. Claff from 45 yards away drives it right to the right of North Allegheny keeper Dante Accomando, and he just lets it go out for a goal kick. Mim and Patel sent back into the match for what Bobby Vossmeyer hopes are some late heroics by the visitors, trying to erase a 2-1 deficit here to Pine-Richland, which is looking for a big early season statement win here in Section 1 at home. With it for North Allegheny is Christian from the top of the center circle. Nice little one-touch pass from Kaczmarek to Shaw, and Shaw is fouled egregiously. Instead, they're just going to give a throw-in to the Rams, and that results eventually in a shot put just wide by Christian. Christian pushing it wide to the right of goal, and he had a lot more time to shoot that ball than I think he imagined. And what looked like a dangerous moment there defensively for Pine-Richland turns into a goal kick with under 6 to play. And Dougal drives this ball toward midfield where the Rams are eventually able to get to it first, and a good challenge there to recover by Justin Beng and reset to his keeper Dougal, who is forced to just drive it out of bounds as the Tigers apply more pressure late here in the 75th minute. Rams trying to clog up the middle of that field as best they can. North Allegheny has some room to maneuver down the left side, though, but they can't get much further than the top of the attacking third before the Rams clear this one. Throw into North Allegheny, and a quick restart at that for the Tigers, as this ball ricochets off a Pine-Richland defender, off a North Allegheny body, out of bounds, and it'll be essentially a goal kick for Pine-Richland. I didn't think that quite made it over the back line, but they're going to give Dougal the benefit of the doubt. Took a wicked bounce as both players collided in front of the North Allegheny bench looking for that ball as Dougal drives it to midfield. Tigers win the 50-50 battle. Ben Christian, near side for Kaczmarek. Kaczmarek looking to cross, and that pass is cut off nicely by Claff. Claff looking for someone up ahead, and that is Dyga committing the foul against one of the Rams. That's Mendelovich who took the worst of that, but he earns an offensive zone foul for his team and a free kick on the North Allegheny half of the pitch for Pine-Richland. And you figure the Rams are going to take their time here, within reason anyway, protecting the one-goal lead as this ball is driven into the box by Claff, headed away neatly by the Tigers' defense. And up ahead it comes now to Anderson. Left side for Luo, up to Anderson. Anderson looking for Christian in the middle of the field, but Pine-Richland beats him to it and taps this ball out of bounds for a North Allegheny throw-in. Daniel Stevens, the sophomore midfielder, who also, if I'm not mistaken, has some RDA experience on his resume, is coming in for North Allegheny. Bobby Vossmeyer looking for late fireworks here as his team continues to trail by a goal, under 3 minutes to play. Marzullo up top. It comes to Mim. Mim, turnaround chip toward goal. Off ahead and out of play. Anderson had an opportunity right on the doorstep and he was trying to redirect it, but Dougal cut down the angle and Mim just kind of, at the end of the day, nicked it out of bounds to the left of the cage, and it'll be a goal kick for Pine-Richland as it looks like Evan Anderson, that was Anderson on that faulty redirect, I should say, who went down hard, and he's helped up by a couple of the Pine-Richland backs, and he's kind of stretching himself out now as play is whistled dead with 2:22 showing on the regulation clock here at Pine-Richland Stadium. Angermeyer back in for North Allegheny as we get ready to restart. And here's a goal kick for Pine-Richland. That's a low-line drive and taken off the bounce off the head of Brandon Geist, the senior, before North Allegheny intercepts. Stevens, left side for Luo. The Rams force the turnover, however, and they're in hot pursuit of this ball, which is played back to Accomando. Accomando goes to his left. North Allegheny needs to get something going in a hurry here, down 2-1. Pine-Richland with some staunch defensive work here for Jordan Wiggin in this second half to try to knock off the visitors and take this first sectional contest of the 2021 season. Clearing attempt is miffed a bit by Pine-Richland, results in North Allegheny throw-in far side, and the Tigers' desperation is mounting, obviously, here as they work in haste before the Rams' back line clears it just shy of midfield. It's played off a second bounce, off a Pine-Richland head, back to the middle of the midfield circle, approaching the final minute of regulation time. Here's Marzullo, left side. Long ball, caught by Dougal. And Dougal will take no chances here as he admonishes his teammates to scurry and head down the field as he drop kicks this ball with 45 seconds to play. It's a high towering punt that is won briefly by the Rams, but North Allegheny is able to get it on the second try. And great work there by the Pine-Richland midfield. That's the left back, Justin Bang, who's had a monster game defensively for Pine-Richland, thwarting that attempted entry pass by the Tigers. 20 seconds to go. Stevens on the ball. Centers. And it's blocked off a Pine-Richland foot with 13 seconds left. Are the Tigers going to have enough time? They got to hurry with 10 to go. And the Tigers will yield. An eyebrow raiser on the first night of Section 1 play in WPIAL Boys Class Quad A. The final whistle has blown and the final horn has sounded at Pine-Richland Stadium here in Gibsonia. The home side elated with a 2-1 triumph over the North Allegheny Tigers. Jordan Wiggins' defense, of whom he was most concerned and most pleased through those first couple matches, does their duty and earns Pine-Richland a second victory overall in 3 tries. The Rams go to 2-0-1 overall, and again 1-0 in section play. North Allegheny drops to 2-1 overall, 0-1 in section play. Special thanks to photographer Ed Thompson. Follow him on Twitter at ThompsonPhoto12 and check out all his action shots of tonight's big game in Gibsonia as the Rams give their fans and student section a much-deserved round of applause. And the feeling clearly and audibly mutual. This is a big one for Jordan Wiggins' side. Pine-Richland beating one of the tougher teams in their section here tonight by a 2-1 result. And you can catch Ed's photos, by the way, by following him on Twitter again at ThompsonPhoto12, and we'll have them all on the Pittsburgh Soccer Now website, and we'll have more coverage of this match on the Pittsburgh Soccer Now website as well, for that matter. Evan Anderson got things going in the first half for North Allegheny, but Collins Vanix answered right before the halftime whistle, and 10 minutes later it was Vanix and Mason Wells teaming up on a melee to our left in the North Allegheny 6-yard box to sneak a ball past Dante Accomando for the winning goal, and that's how it ended up. Once again, the Rams take this section opener. The final score from Pine-Richland Stadium, the Pine-Richland Rams 2, the North Allegheny Tigers 1. For Ed Thompson, for John Krasinski, I am Matt Popchock, proudly reporting once again for Pittsburgh Soccer Now. Again, stay tuned to Pittsburgh Soccer Now for more coverage of this and all WPIAL soccer, boys and girls, throughout the 2021 season. For now, though, so long from Gibsonia, and thank you for listening.